one. Well, again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to this exciting briefing sessions between CMA and JA Europe partnership. So before we get started, just let's spend as quick as we can 3 minutes quickly checking with one another who you are and where you're coming from and which cohort are you from, because it's really a global gathering of our students and we might not have the chance to actually get to know each other. So let's just get the ball rolling. And first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Ben. Yay! I'm calling in from Singapore. Who would like to go next?
Oh, Alban. I'm calling from Singapore as well.
Oh, great!
Hi, I'm Yaya. I'm calling from Auckland, New Zealand.
Oh, great! Welcome.
Hi.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Suman from Singapore. Yeah.
Hey, Suman, welcome.
Hi, I'm from the United States.
Beirut. Is that from Beirut?
The United States.
Wow, welcome.
Can I go now?
Go. Don't break the chain. Just keep the ball going.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Preeti and I'm from Mumbai. I'm from the 205th cohort working towards my ACC.
Thank you, Preeti. Anyone else?
Hello, I'm Vuyo. I'm from South Africa and I'm in the 231th cohort.
Thank you.
The latest.
Thank you. You okay? Move on. Who's next?
Julie from New Zealand, 232 cohort.
From New Zealand. Thank you. Anyone else?
Ivy Padilla from Wellington, New Zealand.
Whoa, New Zealand. Anyone else?
Shanta from Malaysia.
Whoa, Malaysia. Great. Which other country do we have?
Cohort 222 from New Zealand, Auckland.
New Zealand. Wow, it seems New Zealand is having a high toll rate right now. Is it picking up? Who else?
Hi, I'm from Nigeria. From Switzerland.
Yeah, Switzerland. For Hannah from Switzerland. Any other countries?
Yeah, I'm Ephraim from Singapore.
Oh, Singapore. Okay.
Hong Kong here.
From Hong Kong. Yes, no. Anyone else?
Hey, Raymond here from Manila.
Okay, great. From Manila. It takes it took forever to get all started. Let's do it together. Let's all unmute. Okay, put yourself on mute first right now. Unmute yourself at the count of 1, 2, 3. Just shout out where you're from, your country name only. Okay, and then we'll see which country. No, it's not yet started. Not yet. At the count of 1, 2, 3. Ready? Everybody unmute. 1, 2, 3. Singapore.
Manila.
Okay, let's give everybody a round of applause. Okay. So a big welcome to this exciting briefing. And let me just say that the Social Foundation was set up sometime last year with the idea of offering pro bonus coaching to support young leaders to be able to move forward. And over the last couple of months, we've been trying with a lot of initiative, working with different organizations like the Hong Kong Teach. We also work with in Uganda, women leadership organizations. We also work in Singapore with the prison ministry and a couple of things. But none of this initiative can compare to this new partnership that we just formed, which is the Junior Achiever Europe. Well, they have a great network of 4.2 million of young leaders, which I felt that it is a great opportunity in multiple folds. First of all, it allows us to contribute effectively to young leaders, and secondly, it allows our coaches to be able to have the platform to contribute. Before that, let me just share with you why am I so excited about this projects. Well, some of you might not get to hear the story, okay, because you've been taught by different director of training. Now, let me just ask, how many of you do not know how Coach Masters Academy started? Just raise out your hand quickly. You have not heard the story of Coach Masters Academy. Have not. Oh God, we should make this a legacy. But you will be responsible right now to pass down the legacy to your future junior students. Well, we all started way back in 2011. Now, how many of you knows that I'm the founder of the academy? Who is this this funny guy talking here? Okay. Well, I spent my time I've spent about 14, 15 years in Kazakhstan before I returned back to Singapore sometime in 2013. Yeah, and some of you might not know Maya Rahim Galieva, the one who's emailed to you. She's actually my wife. Okay, so now that you know. So we've been living in Kazakhstan for almost 13, 14 years before we returned back. And it was around in 2011 when I was passing by a school. I mean, as part of my daily exercise routine, I jog and then I passed by the school, and it was one of those summer days when I returned back from my jog that something strikes me, that I saw a group of young people there, hanging around and pretty quite lost in terms of what they want to do in life. Pretty quite a normal scene that we see every day. But that particular summer, that particular day, something just hit me. It's like a lightning just struck me. I was so fired up that I feel like going to the young boys and young girls, kind of hold them up by the neck and just slap them on their face and say, you work up your idea. Why you behave like you're a loser? Do you know that the future is beautiful? And by the way, why do we say the future is beautiful? Well, because the fact that it has not happened yet. Okay, that's the simple truth. It's not happened yet. Okay, I said, look, everything is in your hand. Why do you behave as if there is no hope? And that reminds me about Singapore. That little red dot. Okay, we have nothing, no oil, no natural resources, tiny little beauty islands. But our first Prime Minister, Mr. Lee, believed that if we invest in people, we can make it. And that's why we sing this song, we can make it. Okay. And that really makes a lot of impact on me on that day. And so I decided, as a typical Singaporeans, we always like to monopolize the market. And I was in a strategic time, in a very strategic place, because during that time, there is no knowledge and no understanding of what is professional coaching. And I thought, wow, what a way to bring an entry, into this untapped market of introducing life coaching to the educational arena. And it was through some divine opportunity that I get involved in the university work with the local university. And I guess some of you might have seen some of the postings in the CMA Facebook. So I want to share one photo, okay, which has been historical photo. Okay, so back in 2011, I decided to, well, in order to, introduce coaching into the Ministry of Education, we need a team of life coaches to train people with life coaching skills and stuff like that. So I decided I decided to start a school. And that school was called I Am a Life Coach Academy. Okay, with the sole purpose and visions of training teachers or interested like-minded people with life coaching skills so that they can go to the school and be a life coach to support the school. And that's the team that was formed way back in 2011. Okay, we need one mature lady to hold the hold the fort. The rest of it are just young leaders. Okay, they are less than 20. And then this is the first batch of the very first batch of life coach graduated from Life Coach Academy. Of course, this is my team, so everybody becomes they complete the training and get a certification, and from that onwards, we launch into introducing life coaching program to universities. And this photo beside is a very, very interesting photo in the sense that it speaks about me going to the Nazarbayev University, which is a university that is set up by the president of Kazakhstan to talk about incorporating coaching as part of the master's degree program for the students. And back then, we created a movement called I Am a Success and You. Oh, hopefully you can see it. Okay, this iconic badge. Okay, it's called Success and You. That is a movement that we started at university, where we. Oh, just a minute. Can you put on somebody? Thank you, thank you. Good. So Success and You is a movement that we start in universities to help young leaders to own the success that is within them. So that picks up tremendously, and that's where it becomes the next turning point. That when we decided to move back to Singapore in 2013, I decided to up the game, and so I took I Am the Life Coach Academy and rebrand that into Coach Masters Academy, and that's how you guys eventually comes into the scene. Okay, so that little story, it continues his legacy today, that we got this fantastic opportunity, to be able to make an impact for young leaders. So that's why we are here today, to share with you how you can be involved, and if you do want to be involved, and these are the things that we need your cooperation and support. Got it? Great. So with that in mind, I quickly I would like to just address a couple of things in today's briefing sessions. Number one, Azadel will be sharing with you a little bit more background details on who the JA Junior Achiever is. And then thereafter, I will move in to talk about what might be the coaching brief. That means what is expected, at least for the July intake, in terms of the coaching engagement. And then finally, we'll be talking about the administration part of it. Okay, got it? Any questions, just take it down first. There will be a Q&A at the end of the sessions. Okay, great. Now I quickly pass the time over to Azadeh. Azadeh, would you then briefly introduce yourself first and then share with them who is the Junior Achiever?
Sure. So hi, everybody. I know some of you, a lot of you, and I also don't know some of you. So my name is Azadeh Intizami. I am originally Iranian living in Dubai. I am now the director of training for Iran. I started in the ACC program 3 years ago. So I would say that I'm baby student of CMA and growing, and now at the mastery level. So it's been such an amazing journey that I have had the privilege to be able to also support some of you and a lot of my peers I can see here as well, with whom I have grown. So it's great to be here with you today. I just want to give you a brief overview of JA. So who will you be working with as an organization? Who will be presenting you with these students? So JA Europe is the largest nonprofit organization dedicated in preparing young people for employment and entrepreneurship. So they actually have a setup where they support children all throughout primary school, middle school, secondary school, and then they have this section of ranging from 18 years to 24 years, and students that have already left university and are starting a startup. So JA is present in 6 different continents, and as Africa, Asia Pacific, USA, America. So it's a great opportunity for us to start with Europe, and hopefully with this successful project, we may have the opportunity to be able to extend it to different regions where you are at today, which would be really fantastic. And basically their philosophy is that in addition to supporting the students with providing them with entrepreneurial skills, they want to provide them with a mindset that could be useful for them, as well as knowledge and skills that would equip them so that they're ready for the job that they may take, or if they want to take on their own business in the future as an entrepreneur. So the target group that we will be reaching out to, that we will be working with, first of all, is going to be that target group of 18 years to 24 years old. And so Ben really nicely identified this as the most, let's say, one target group that will be, for us, reasonable to start with, as they are, let's say, half our age, if I just take the average of us students, if I may, or I'm referring to myself here. I know that some of you are much younger, and which is also nice because you can relate well to these students, but we will start off with this age group of 18 to 24 who are still studying, some of them are doing a BA, some of them are doing their master's program. They're studying different the different courses, from languages to business to, they mentioned there's a whole full range that they're studying, some of which have already entered the professional world, or they've started something or on their way of starting something. So this will be basically the target group that you will be working with. And I guess that so I'm going to pass on to Ben, but the program is like this, that you will be given, for each student that you will have three sessions with this student that you can accompany them on what it is that they would like to work on. And details to this you will be receiving from Ben. But I think this is just a brief overview so you have an idea who you're working with, what is the organization behind, and who are these students. Thank you for being here, everyone.
Thank you, Azadeh. So let me quickly get into the coaching brief in terms of how the whole coaching is planned out. First, the first project will kick off in July. Not the first week of July, but the next following week of July. Each coaching duration is about 2 months, ideally. Now, working in such a project, I really need you to have one simple mindset. That means hold everything tentatively. Okay, we have nothing absolutely confirmed. Okay, mainly because this is a non-profit organizations, and it really has a lot of external factors to take into consideration. Okay, nevertheless, what we give you is just a framework, and you adjust the framework according to the situations. So, second week of July, where the first project kick off, estimated duration is about 8 weeks. And during the 8th week, we recommend 3 coaching engagement. Now, if you want to go beyond 3, that's great. But what if you want to go lesser than 3? Hold on there first. Try to go for 3. Unless really necessary, then you go for 2. So far, so good? Great. Date and time for the coaching engagement will be mutually agreed between you and your client. We will recommend you to consider Saturday or Sunday. Consider the fact that most of these are still young adults. Okay, Saturday might be a good time because it's unwinding down and stuff like that. And it also allows you to just be able to plan around, given the consideration of the global time zone that might be an issue here. Very likely they will be in Europe time zone. So Saturday, well, it doesn't have to, you just have to make sure you plan for it in a most convenient time for yourself. But nevertheless, you are free to negotiate with your clients what might be a more suitable alternative date and time. Okay, so it's mutually agreed date and time. Platform-wise, well, just take advantage of, if you have a Zoom account, that would be great, but if you don't have Skype, but I wouldn't recommend Skype because of the, it's not that robust as compared to Zoom. Okay, so again, it will be based on mutual agreement on what platform would you use. So far, so good with the general information. 8 weeks, 3 coaching engagements. Each coaching session, how long do I need to run? Ideally, it's between 1 hour to 1 hour and 15 minutes. Well, it might be longer, it might be shorter, up to you to decide. What am I supposed to do in this coaching conversation? That's where we're going to give you further details. Now, every project will be different, mainly because the approach that we have negotiated with Junior Achiever is this, that we need to have a general direction or theme, and then after that, we move on to the coaching. Junior Achiever usually runs something like they usually have some activities and program in which they talk about certain life skills or certain concepts. So there is some teaching that the students will be involved, and that's what we propose to them. After the workshops or after your virtual events in which you are communicating certain concepts, we will then support the students with a coaching approach to consider the applications of the learning. Now in July, very likely it will be a group of young adults stepping into their career life. Okay, that is the group of people that we are requesting. But nevertheless, because this is the very first project, we have told them that, look, to be safer, we will prepare the coaching topic for them, send it to them and ask them to, we will give them a template for them to consider what is it that they would like to be coached on, and give some background to that and what is it that they want to accomplish as a result of this coaching engagement. So that will be for the first project. The second project, which is in the month of August, will then adopt the approach that we propose to them. That means they will be attending a virtual event, and after that, we will base on the theme of the virtual event to create the coaching topic for them. Okay, so what's going to happen in August, we are not sure yet. The theme, the virtual events for August is still in discussion. They have not finalized that, but once we got that, we will make known to those who are involved in the August that this is a team and this is where you will most probably be coaching the students on. Now, because it is based on the theme, the first coaching sessions is not the one that you learn in class. What is it that you like to take away by the end of today's session? Now it doesn't work, okay? You need to allow the students to share, to check out first in terms of what lands for them. So it will be more just basically interviewing and having more of a dialogue in terms of what are they thinking about whatever that they have learned. And you just crystallize their thought process. Okay, this is important, and then expand their mind. What's your thought about that perspective, or what's your thinking about that, or what might be the challenge that you're facing there? So it's kind of like more of a news reporter trying to draw out as much insights and understanding from the students. Okay, and then after that, put everything onto the table, then ask them. So now that you are able to debrief and hear yourself speak, and these are all the things that you have learned, are aware of, or afraid of, or whatever that is, what do you think would be a good way for us to move on for the second and third sessions? So far so good. Now, also because this is a first session, the students might not have met you, or you might not know a lot about the students. So you might want to spend some time at the beginning just to get to know them and for them to get to know you. So that will take about 15-20 minutes of the time. Okay, thereafter, you draw out their insight about their learning, then spend 10 to 15 minutes. Try to consider how would they like to approach it for the second and the third coaching session. Henceforth, that's why in the earlier on I mentioned you need at least 3 coaching sessions, mainly because the first coaching session is getting to know each other and understanding what lands and what is it that, just to understand what's the learning is all about. Then the second coaching session actually begins as if will start like the one that we taught you in the class. Okay, so we are talking about this topic right now. So tell me more about whatever the topic that is, and spend your time, using that to have the first session with them. Now, usually after that first session, they will have some kind of like things that they want to apply or do or act upon and stuff like that. Okay, that's where you let them go out and implement it, and then the third sessions you follow up with them based on what they have achieved, not achieved, review what they learned from their experience, and see what else is still lingering around that needs to be closed. Now, if everything is good and fine for the students and they're excited about the action steps and have the third conversation around the learning and stuff like that, and you felt that everything is good to go, just thank them and say, well, wish you all the best, and I will support you via some follow-up via through the emails and informally. Okay, but then if you felt that after the third conversation, the third coaching session, there is still some things that you want to explore further, you can initiate another coaching sessions together with the students, with your clients. Okay, so remember, whatever that is, you must be able to bring a proper closure, at least fully complete, that I think this person is ready to jump in right now. So that's the generic coaching brief that you will be doing. Very open, just be ready to receive things that's coming differently, because number one, these students have never been coached before. Okay, they have no idea what coaching is. So on the preparation end, this is how it usually happens. Every time when we confirm with JA a project, like for example the July, we call that the July project, we will have a a preparation stage in which students who have enrolled and wanted to be coached, they will come into a virtual platform like this, and we will spend about 30 minutes to just explain to them what is coaching, what to expect, and stuff like that. And then if any one of you is available, we'll just ask you to come in and then give a quick, well, hello, this is who I am. And so at least they get to see your face. But that's not compulsory for you, okay? But it's just compulsory for the students who wants to be coached. And it was in this 30 minutes presentation, we shared with them what is coaching, what they can expect out of a coaching conversations, and state down some of the commitment that we're expecting from them, and then answer any of their questions. Okay, so that's the preparation stage. Once they finish the preparation stage, that's where we get into the administration part of matching the coaches with the students. At this point of time, we will be basically we will base on just a random assignment with any of the coaches to any of the students, and we will proportion them according to the numbers of students who are coming in that is willing to be coached. Now, again, JA for the purpose of working, they say let's work towards 100 students. So we will only know the actual registrations sometime on the third week of June. Okay. When the students register that they want to be coached, they will be given a startup kit to explain to them what is coaching. Thereafter, they will join us for the virtual platform, the virtual briefing, and then we will do the matching. You will receive an email to say that this is the name of the students, and we try to get as much information as we can, but we don't think that might be possible, mainly because junior achiever also do not have that information. So I think most probably you will get very generic, like they're the male or females, their age groups, and their names and where they are from. So I think that's so much information that we can gather from the organization. We will send that to you via email, a list of your students that is given to you, and that's where you will initiate the first conversation, the first coaching with them, and you will continue on till the end of the 8 weeks. Periodically, we might, especially for the first intake, we will have crash course in which we bring all of you back for a briefing sessions and then check in with one another. How's the students going on? What are some of the topics that is presented? What are the challenges that you're facing as a coach in terms of coaching the students and stuff like that? So we will have the crash course to help to kind of like gather best practice and best approach. Also at the same time for us to align and recalibrate if we do notice certain trend that is coming. Because eventually you are important to us too, because we want you to be able to use this opportunity to build out your professional practice. So far so good. So there will be one or two, we really have to depend, but we are committed to have at least minimum one midpoint check-in where all of us come in to talk about our experience. And then finally, there will be we have requested to Junior Achiever for a final get together with the students, okay, and which the students will come and share, wow, how's the journey like for them? What has changed for them? We want to hear their stories, what's going through for them, through the coaching through after the coaching. So it's a two-pronged approach of first giving them the knowledge, the skills that they needed. By JA will do that, and then we will support them with the coaching to ensure that all that application is being applied. Got it? So big picture, students were registered, receive startup kits, introduction program, then coach will the pairing will be made. You start your coaching duration 8 weeks, 3 sessions. In between 8 weeks, one check-in, and end of the whole project, one celebration time. You are welcome to join the celebration, but certainly from CMA perspective, we will be there and to celebrate the students' victory. But you are most welcome to be there to celebrate the success. Okay, so that's the big picture of how the coaching brief is going to be like. I mean, this is how everything's going to do. Okay, so I'm going to take some questions here and really need you to use the icon of the raise hand so that we can kind of like effectively answer the questions. Any questions so far at this point in time regarding the coaching brief?
Hi Ben. This is Raymond.
Okay. Hi.
Just a question here. All of us are qualified to be coach to be a coach for the representatives from JA. Yes, even if you're not ACC yet or MCC, even if you're just
I will address the requirements later on. Is that okay for
all
you?
right.
Thank you.
Okay, sure.
Thank you. How about Hannah?
Yes, so Ben, you said there's going to be about 100 clients or students that are expected. Is there then an expectation on the other side on how many clients a coach should take?
Yeah. So at this point of time, we will be mindful about the load that is given to the coach. So we'll begin with 3 first, and then we will then regulate that. Okay, it has to be kind of like managed manually, because number one, we do not know the exact volume first. Once we know the exact volume, we can match it against the existing database that we have in terms of number of coaches, and we will do a first of all equally spread. So ideally, for one project that lasts for 8 weeks, ideally it should not be more than 5. Okay. But if you do want to have more than 5 because your time allows you to be able to work with more students, then that's fine. Just let us know. But if not, otherwise, generic approach, evenly spread out, cap it maximum at 5 for the time being.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you. And Sherman next. Next is Sherman.
Hi, Ben. Yeah, my question is regarding will the coach, us, get what JA would teach the students?
That's at this point of time, I think generically the answer is yes, and I don't see any reason why it should not. Okay, however, how that can be passed down to our coaches really is not within our control. So they may have a virtual event, and we might ask them for the recorded sessions and stuff like that, but we will just make known to our coaches if they're running a virtual events. This is the day, the time. If you can join in, then go ahead. If not, otherwise, these are the recorded links in which you can preview. The good news is moving forward, we might be doing the virtual events, okay? Because we told JA partnership that we have abundant resources of trainers and professions, okay, life skills developments, whatever that is, so anyway, in my past work in the university, I have already made syllabus, under Success and You, for young leaders. So we might eventually be involved in doing a regular program of implementing, let's say, that syllabus, and then thereafter, you got the coaches will come and take in. Basically, that syllabus is about personal leadership, like taking small actions, baby steps, be decisive, be curious to say why not, So teach them simple mindset. That not simple mindset. Yeah, it sounds simple, but powerful simple mindset that they can start adopting. Okay, so we might be doing that, but because this is our first project, we just want to start slow. Let our coaches gain the traction first. We build the momentum, and then when we are able to build the connections, then we will come in to see how we can do the front end, so that coaches right now don't have to worry about what is a team. But nevertheless, there will be special projects in which they run big conferences that talks about generically trends that they want the young adult to be aware of, and then we will write onto that big team to coach the students. Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
Abiola, next.
Ben, just to confirm that the minimum session we can have with them is 3 sessions, and if there is need for another one, we can add one more. So it cannot be more than 4.
Well, I won't want to set a limit
Okay.
to how many sessions. I will just recommend minimum you need to have 2, but not less than 2.
Okay.
Maximum, well, I will leave that to you and the students.
Okay.
But of course, you can't go forever.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Abiola. Any more last questions regarding the coaching brief?
Hi, Ben. This is Pat from Philippines.
Hey, hi.
Hi, Ben. Yeah, I just have a question. What are the parameters considered in pairing the coach and client?
At this point of time, we don't have any criteria. It will be a random selection until we are able to set up a digital platform or our own so-called applications for the students to select their coaches. So unfortunately, even when we got the platform, it will be the students selecting the coaches, not the coaches selecting the students. So they'll be logging in, and those who want to be involved in this project, all your profile will be there, and then they will be able to kind of like select, I want a female coach or a male coach, whatever, a coach in Europe or a coach in elsewhere and stuff like that. So until the platform is developed, if not otherwise, will be just pure random assignment.
Got
Ben,
it. Yeah, that's helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question related to how do we assess success of the initiative?
I'm sorry again, Christine. Would you like to say that again?
How will we assess the success of this initiative?
Well, it's very that measure of success is not the responsibility of CMA, but the responsibility of JA, which we have already highlighted to them that they need to monitor and get kind of like follow up with them in terms of success story, because eventually JA needed that to continue to fund their missions. So that responsibility, that will be the responsibility of JA. But on our end, we do not want to assume that responsibility, but as a dad will be following up with JA to make sure that we can get some good success story and testimonial to put into our own website. But we are more of a passive collector, but not an active contributor for that, because we cannot ensure the success of this whole entire project, because it's a partnership of a front end and a back end until we have arrived to that partnership, which we are responsible for the front end and the back end. Then we can kind of like be more actively involved in collecting those success story of how the this project has impacted on the individual. Well, again, this is more of a social impact. We will not be doing KPI like a normal organization. How many we got? 80 coaches, we got 300 students, with how many success rate, how many did it? No, we won't be doing that. But what we want is, among the 200 students, is there any warm stories about someone who just come and say, look, I make that decision and now this is what. Even if we can just make that one impact, rejoice. Okay, so that's what we will be doing to watch out for success story. And that's why in our midpoint check-in, we will check in with the coaches. Hey, is there any exciting stories that's happening so far in this in your encounter with these young leaders? And if there is yes, I said that will follow up with you to make sure we captured those stories, like any BBC News. War stories, let's go there, interview the students, make some recording, and then allow the person to share and say, look, coaching makes a difference. Okay, so that's how we're going to approach it. Okay, but obviously, no, so sorry. Obviously, we will do the number games, as in, we got 100 coaches involved and we reach out to 600 students. But those are just basic. Okay, that's nothing exciting, but that's the bare minimum that I will do. Got it? Thank you for asking that question. And I hear someone just raise a question.
Yes. What I want to emphasize is this: will it be 3 different students per coach, or 3 different sessions provided to a student by one coach?
Is each student 3 session minimum, and each coach maximum per project 5 as a guideline. So you do your mathematics is 5 times 3 times, I will recommend you to put 1 hour and 30 minutes for your coaching session, even though you can do it for 1 hour, but just put it 1.5 hours, because you need to prepare yourself. Maybe some of you need 20 minutes to prepare yourself. So that's part of your total effort to prepare for your coaching, whatever that is. So if you want to put 1.5 hours, I'm fine. If you want to put 2 hours, I'm also equally fine. So let's go for the max. So it's 5 times 3 times 2 per project. You got 60 hours, in other words.
Hi, Ben. This is Harshada. Ben, these hours are can be used in our coaching hours. Can they be taken in as our coaching hours?
Yes, you can. Just make it easy. Just take this as paid coaching hours. Okay. Good. Anyone else? Any questions regarding the coaching brief? If not, I'm going to get into a very sensitive issue.
I have a quick question, Ben.
Okay, Lena, go ahead.
Hi. So have they requested anything in terms of language? Because I realize that we have such a great abundance of different languages that we can provide as coaches. For example, me being German, I also do coaching sessions in German, and that being a European group. Have they requested anything in terms of different languages, or is it all going to be English speaking?
I won't want to make things complicated. Okay, very simple. Okay, so we are just working with English, but as you work with the students, if you want to switch language, I'm obviously fine. But at the public collateral level, it's purely English speaking.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So in view of time, I want to bring into the last bit of the discussions. As much as we want to, please understand, okay, as much as we want to have every student to be involved. That's our preferred options. But having said that, we also want to be mindful about the impact that we're going to bring to the students. Not so much that you are not able to serve the students, but we want to uphold the professional standards of offering professional coaching and not just coaching. Because everyone can coach. Coach someone to solve the problem, coach someone to resolve something. Everybody can do that effectively, granted the fact that you have the experience, you have the age to do that. What we want is to turn these opportunities into a forced growth to get students to be fully committed to be a professional coach. Understanding that professional coaching to heighten the awareness and deepen the learning is at the highest benchmark of what this professional coaching is all about. Not just coaching. Henceforth, we would like to, at least in the initial stage, to give priority to students, number one, who are planning to apply for their credential, or who are in the process of applying for the credential, or for students who are at least involved in the second level training and above. Those who are in second level training, by default, okay, you will be given students to coach, okay? If that's part of your job part of the training program, okay? And we will make sure that it's buffed inside that you have to coach 10 students as part of the requirements for completions, okay? So, but for students who are doing the core training, we at the initial stage, we want to see who are the students who are going for the credential first, and we will give them as a priority first. Okay, mainly because number one, we know that they are in a safer hand. The mentor coach will be with them, and in the event, if there's anything arising from their coaching encounter with the students, they can use that as a case to say, hey, look, this is really very tricky. It makes me want to kind of like solve the problem and coach them how to kind of tackle the problem. I would like to discuss with you, how can I use this technical topic, and based on what I have learned, how can I make more learning out of it? So that's where we want to use this opportunity first. Okay, now also being this is a first project, we really do not know how many students will respond to the invitation of wanting to work with a professional coach. Well, I mean, on paper, it looks nice. They got 4.2 million young leaders. Well, that's something we can rejoice. At least we know if I can get 0.1% of them to say yes, it's still a good number to work on. But in terms of actual implementation, we really do not know how that will pan out. Okay, so first wave, we will give priority first to students who are doing mentoring or are who are planning to do that. Then after we have matched it based on the ideal case scenario, that is 3 students to 1 coach, and then we will see how many small students is available. And then we'll look back at the list again, and then we'll reach out to the respective director, or we'll let you know that you're on the second wave, pending for us to wait for new students to come in. And if you know that you're already in a second wave, you can just request your director and say, hey, directors, you know me and doing the training and stuff like that, would you recommend me to be on the list? Even though, you might not be consumed for mentor coaching. At least this is a way for us to know that, hey, there's someone who can kind of like assure us that, hey, look, our students, he is ready to make an impact. Okay, so because we also need to be responsible for the experience that the students is getting. Is that a fair statement to put? Now, as we have more projects up and coming, then we will then know, based on the first wave, what kind of expectation the students, what is the students' expectation? What are the issues that the students are dealing with? And also based on the feedback of the first wave coaches, we can then now know how deep is the water. From that experience, then we can make sense how we can regulate our coaches. Do we really need people who are planning for credential to be involved, or based on the core training itself, we are 100% sure we can address the impact. So that's how we're going to position for the time being. So far so good. So don't worry, there is a second project that is in the month of August. Okay, and we're planning for the September one, in which we were proposing doing the virtual under the front end for JA. So there will be that regular pool of projects in which students need to be coached. We just need to know who are the students and how deep is the pool before we start regulating it as a to make it more available for students, our students. Clear? Is that a good way to manage your expectation? Great. So what does it mean? It means very simple. We need you to, now that you have all the details, oh, I forgot one more thing. There will be a participating fees of US $100 for you to involve in this project. Now, how does it go? Very simple. These participating fees will allow you to enjoy a period of 6 months of involvement. So during these 6 months, if there are multiple projects, you are involved in these projects. And 6 months is one factor. Another one is minimum is 10 students that we will be committed to assign to you. How does it work? Let's say, for example, in these 6 months, you only get to coach 2 students. Well, then we will come back to you and say, well, there's still 8 students that we are not able to give it to you, but would you like to join us for the next 6 months? And for the next 6 months, you will not need to contribute the participating fees. Second scenario, in these 6 months, you have more than 10 students. Well, we will continue to add on to you if you say that you are ready to take in more students. Got it? So 6 months, minimum 10 students. So you will continue to coach the students within the 6 months until you say, no, I'm totally packed and I'm not able to take in any more students. Then when the end of the 6 months project, the new 6 months starts, we will again contribute $100 for the participating fees, and then the whole cycle will repeat again. Now, for the time being, because we do not know the exact volume of students and how committed JA is in terms of this partnership, we will tentatively put 6 months. And after the first 3 months of working with them, then we will review this again to see is there any adjustment that we need to make. So far so good? Great. The participating fees will go into the administration fees of doing all this, and go into the seed fund to develop the application software to automate the entire process, so that eventually everything will be automated. And then that's where we can then reduce the participating fees to bare minimum, because now we don't need to incur any administrative fees to kind of like, monitor the pool of students. We are just anticipating for the worst case scenario where there are 200-300 of students, with at least 100 over coaches. And we do want to make sure if students doesn't turn out for the coaching, we are able to kind of like step in and, administer it to change the students for you and stuff like that. So that's where the participating fees will go into. Got it? Great. So with that in mind, so what needs your attention is very simple. You heard you got the briefing already. We will send out the email to confirm whether do you want to onboard starting from July till December. Got it? So once we got your name from there, then we will then have another meeting in which it's more technical meeting in terms of the first sessions. How do you go about preparing the students for the first coaching session? And we will do a scenario play, as in we will mock out a students, so that you can at least have a sense of how you can manage the first coaching sessions. Second and third coaching session, we are not concerned, mainly because your training will be adequately preparing you for that. Okay, then along the way, doing the midpoint check, we will see whether do we need to give you some crash course to tackle some accountability or responsibility coaching questions. Okay, but we will see as it goes. Great. Good. Bottom line, participating fees $100, 6 months. During this period, we aim to give you 10 students to work. Each project is about 8 weeks, in which you can anticipate 3 coaching sessions during these 8 weeks. As long as your door is open, we will continue to pump in the students to you. In between, if there's anything that arises that needs some attention, you can always reach out to Azada, which is the main coordinator for this entire project. So she will assist you to sort out whatever tedious problems that arise during this period of time. Trust me, I work in the university before, and I know it's not easy working with students. Okay. So with that in mind, take care everybody, and thank you for your time. I'm just going to stay here for just a couple of minutes, just in case anyone else has other questions. It will be on recording, so for those who need to attend to your family matter, by all means go ahead and have a good weekend. Take care. So good. So I'll let the students go off first, and then we'll just tackle any other questions that might arise. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great. Any other questions that suddenly pop up for you that you'd like to clarify? Hey, hi Lisa, go ahead.
Question. Hi. So for the North American students, what will be the process to allow them to onboard the recording as well as have the option of the email sent to them?
I'm not sure which are you referring to, our students or JA students?
Our students. So our cohort students who are in North America who aren't on right now, will the email to register for the program be accessible to all?
No, the email for registration only for those who are registered for today's debriefing sessions.
Okay. So so my question is, for the people that the time zone just not appropriate, like in North America, we have a few students.
I think they have to make necessary sacrifice and adjustment if they want to ride onto this wave, and that's why I recommend them. They might want to consider Saturday, because Saturday, the time zone between Europe and America, there is possibility of doing that during the weekend.
Yeah,
it's only 6 hours difference only, right? So that's why they can take advantage of the weekend to, if they cannot,
Okay. Will they have access to this recording?
Yes, they will. Only for those who registered for today's events and they may not be able to join us, then they will get a link to access the recording.
Okay, got it.
Anyone else has other questions? Oh, look so quiet. You guys not excited. You look so serious.
I have a question, Ben. I didn't register. I just joined the session today. Am I going to be in the...
Yes, you will be, because the Zoom will register your email.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. If you just join in, you should get a registration. You actually registered to get the link here, right?
Well, I got the invitation per email, and I just saw it this morning. And I saw it in the forum, in the LMS. I saw that there was going to be this meeting take place, and I just clicked on it immediately, but I didn't register.
But in order for you to come to this meeting, you should have registered something, right?
Well, I didn't register. I just clicked on the link join in the email.
Okay. I'll just take note of your name. If you don't receive any email to confirm, just let us know.
Great. Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Good. So
Ben, I've got a question.
Hi, Zenta.
Janita. Hi,
yeah.
Ben. Just wondering what prompted this partnership with JA Europe, and what are the benefits for all involved?
What prompted it has always been in my mind. It has always been in my mind looking for such opportunity. It's just, I mean, Rakesh has been involved. I've been knocking him and telling him, hey, talk to your schools, give us your students. And Raluca was also once involved in trying to do this. I'm always looking for opportunities to implement such a project because of my experience in Kazakhstan. I see how it literally touch and transforms young adults. You know, the amount of belief, what they need is someone who believe in them, not someone who instruct them, someone who can believe in them, talk to them in a non-judgmental way. I see how that makes a world of difference. So I'm always knocking for doors for such initiative. What's the benefit for all of us? Number one, you get a real life experience of working with a client. In your core training, you work with your fellow course mate who actually knows the coaching process. So they know, okay, when you ask questions like this, what would you like to have happen? What do you want to take away from today's conversation? They know exactly what you're asking, and they're able to give you a response that you can actually manage. But a real client doesn't understand the coaching philosophy. When you ask them, what do you want to take away from today? I want to solve my problem. And so you get to, it's not that you are gaining experience. You don't need to gain experience. You need to know how the fish swim in the water. Have you ever been, I mean, you just imagine yourself as a, the bird that catch the fish, what you call that? Kingfisher? No, not kingfisher. Kingfish.
Spearfishing?
No, whatever, that the bird that catch the fish. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes, they have to learn how to see the fish in the water because of the reflection. It's the location of the fish is not exactly the same as your eye see it. That's what you are gaining. You are learning how the fish actually swim. When you ask those questions, your clients who doesn't have, who is not have not attended any coach training will give you some very funny response. And your next questions depends a lot on how they respond to your former question. And that's what we taught you in the class. The power of a coaching question is not about what question you ask, it's how you respond to the first question that you ask. So that gives all our coaches the very, very invaluable experience of understand how a client will respond in a coaching process so that you can take advantage of your learning to create a deeper conversation for your real client. So, and in addition to that, of course, it gives you a very tangible platform to truly accumulate the 100 hours of a coaching experience, which is a requirements for credential application. So it really benefits CMA big time of having a platform. And if JA live up to their commitment, as in they're able to give us minimum 200 students every month, whoa. I don't see any reason why students going for the advanced training has to worry about 500 hours.
Cool. Right.
Okay, so by default, those who enter into second level for a PCC credential should be able to accumulate 500 hours by the end of the training. Great.
Excuse me, Ben.
Hey, hi.
Yeah, hi, Nani here.
Yes.
If I understand you correctly, you were saying that the hours that we can practicing hour can be claimed again to the paid coaching hours.
Yeah.
I thought it's kind of voluntary coaching, and how could this can be claimed as a paid coaching hour?
Well, because at the front end, for the students to be coached, they need to contributing fees to JA to be involved to be coached. So since that is a financial transaction from the student perspective, so this is considered as a paid.
I see. Okay, right, got it. Okay, so if I coach just one, and then you're talking about 5 times 3 times 2, so 5 people for 3 sessions and
It's
about 2
30
hours.
hours. Yeah, 30 hours. 30 hours
30
per
hours.
project.
All right, cool.
Because
Thank
we got August project that is coming up also. So it's July and August. So that's why 30 times 2 is 60 hours.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. My mind goes a little bit faster. Just take note. So when I say 60 hours, I'm looking at July and August. So I forgot to time 2. Okay, that should be pretty good space for you guys to have 60 hours apply for your ACC credential by the end of at least September period. Okay, good. Any other questions that you'd like to clarify? Great. Good. Thank you, Ivy. Keep this positive spirit out. I think the students will enjoy it. Okay, good. So with that in mind, thank you everybody for joining us and looking forward to see how we can make a positive impact. Don't see this as I'm coaching, I'm involved in an initiative. Look at the potential of that students that you're talking with. Just imagine your children at the age of 18, 19 who cannot talk to you, who are lost. Mom, you don't understand lah. You know what I mean? Because at this age, they don't like to talk to parents, even how close we are. They just don't like to talk. They are just, in their own little cocoon. Okay, but having to talk to a professional coach as a friend, that's different. I mean, I'm a teenager before, I'm a young adult before, I understand. I'd rather talk to my friend than to my parents. Not that I don't love my parents, okay? I mean, it's not about that. It's just familiarity breed content, that's it. Okay, mom, you don't understand. Dad, you don't understand. Maybe they don't even got a mom and a dad. And you might be that parents, that model parents that they have been longing for. Okay, and we don't want to neglect we don't want to deny the fact that divorce rate is going high in this part, in almost across the globe. And they might not even have that motherly or fatherly model. And that's why such encounter with that individual, if you can add compassion inside this whole thing, I think, it's not just having a coaching conversation. It's going to be a life encounter, someone who really believe, and ignite something inside them. So have fun, okay, and go and make positive change and create another miracle out there in the next 10 years. I'm the miracle, okay? Someone believe in me, and that's why today we have a group of professional coaches. If that happens to me, it could happen to another person out there. So with that, take care, everybody. See you. Bye.
Thank you, Ben.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.